My idea, and I'm not sure if this was a good idea, was to list my subscribers on my website. So anyone who subs to me on Twitch would be listed on my website. But would that be a good idea? Would I regret this? And where would I put it? I put it here? Do I just show a random name, like giving them a shout out? Maybe. Oh, right here in the did you know list. One of the did you know items would just be, did you know that X is subscribed for 2 months? How would I manage this? A random subscriber or the latest subscriber, maybe? Or give it, or give the latest subscriber a higher chance of showing up. Maybe just the latest subscriber. That way you'd have more control. You'd know when your name would be showing up here. Although I do need to cache it. Let me show you the system. Let me paint you a picture. I'm unironically looking for my mouse. I lost it. So I have a website, and my website is in a server. We've got the website front end, and then there's the website back end. How do I leave this mode? Let me make this one green and use a real rectangle. Making progress. Actually, I'm gonna call it the website API. So the website front end gets data from the API. I'm gonna use blue. So the website API gives data to the front end. The website front end can ask the API for anything. And these two, I'm not gonna say it. Now, here's the third player. You thought I only had a front end and a back end, so to speak. But no. The front end is what you're familiar with. Something that just hosts the JavaScript. That's how I choose to describe it. The back end, though, it's more complex for several reasons that I'm not gonna get into. I need another rectangle farther away from the rest. I'm gonna call this thing the single source. The website API does not store any data. It doesn't have access to a database. It doesn't communicate with the Twitch API. It's just a service that provides data to the website. It's application programming interface for the front end. It's nothing more than that. It doesn't have a lot of logic. It's all handled here, far away from the website. So you can hack the websites, but much more difficult to get to the truth. So the website API makes a request to the single source of truth and asks for data. And I'm gonna represent it like this because there are WebSockets. So it is bidirectional. So data goes in, data goes out. And these requests, the requests between the front end and the API are cheap. But the requests between the API and the single source of truth are expensive in comparison. It actually has to get the data from a database, store data in a database, look up APIs like the Twitch API. So it does a lot of stuff. And I wanna cache these requests as much as I can. I want to avoid having the API talk to the single source of truth. Hence the need for caching. I want to cache the latest subscriber. Because you see, when somebody subscribes to me for the sole purpose to see their name in my website, they're gonna immediately go to my website and expect to see their name on there. But they won't because of the caching. They might though, if they're lucky. But the caching is gonna make it difficult. Let's say that I have caching that lasts 1 hour. A 1 hour cache. So there's a chance that for the next 60 minutes, they're not gonna see their name on my website. They're gonna see the previous name. This is bad because if somebody else subscribes, their name is gonna show up on my website. Potentially before the one. Damn. Hello? How you doing? Let me give you a smooch. By the way, you probably noticed that I look a little bit different, right? I look clothed. That's right. I am no longer streaming shirtless. It's just way too cold to do that. Last stream, I was freezing, but I kept myself warm for a little bit. I look like an office worker. It's a cosplay. I look like a software engineer in an office. I am on Twitch doing software development, streaming. I'm streaming software development, so I guess this is fitting. Yeah. Thank you. I look like developer. I am true developer. I write code. Look at me. I look like a developer. Look at the things that I'm doing. I'm drawing rectangles and arrows. Exactly what you do in a meeting. I'm sure once you finish the cosplay stream, you'll go back to your daily routine at the factory. How the fuck do you know? So I'm now thinking whether this feature is worthwhile implementing. Maybe I should just not bother with caching. If I don't cache, things will work. People will be impressed. At a certain point, you gotta realize that efficiency isn't always desirable if it means giving up on features that are cool. Thank you. I could cache for 5 seconds. It would make it at least a little bit more efficient. If, let's say, 1,000 people go to my website at the same time, I will only need to look up the API once. That's a nice trade-off. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I may have missed that could screw up my plans. Don't see it. This is the plan. We're caching. Let me save this for future reference, so I can't lose this now. I'm gonna add it, I guess at the very beginning. It's gonna be the first line. Let me open the code. Do I not have it open? I don't. I can show you that. Alright. So this, what you're looking at, is the API. This is the website's API. And I'm gonna add an endpoint solely dedicated for this. And I'm gonna want to cache the date. Oh, interesting. It's using memwise get, but this is the old one. This is the class that I created to cache things. But I've since then created a library with the same code. So I'm gonna take the time to replace this with the library. It's open source, by the way. I'm gonna remove the old memwise get. I don't need it anymore. It served me well. Now, gotta take a look at these bitches. Oh, it's black. And if I refresh, it's now a different color. Okay, so the fact that I saw black first indicates that it returned the default value in the first call. If I were to kill the API and bring it back again, yep, it's black, as expected. So it is getting the default value. I don't know why I was doubting my own library. Of course it works, because I used unit tests. It's unit tested. I trust it. So it's working. It's waiting. It's working exactly as it did before. So let me commit and implement the new feature. Oh, right. So I've recreated the service, the machine, but I have not put Vim as the default editor. My bad. Time to think of a good commit message. But, use memwise deeper. Oh, there. Good enough. Oh, wow, look at that. 114 deletions. Feel like I did really good. So let's introduce that thing. Memwise deeper. Get latest subscriber. Oh wait, I gotta be very specific. Twitch subscriber. I might do this for another platform as well, but first Twitch. And I'm gonna cache for maybe 3 seconds or 5 seconds or 1 second. It's gotta be short. And the default value, I don't think it really matters. It's not gonna make a difference. So it's not gonna have a default value. And in this case, if communication fails, and this can happen, you may have noticed that these arrows are bigger and thicker than this arrow. It was actually intentional. I just didn't say anything. I wanted to see if you were paying attention. And the distance is larger. There's a bigger gap. And the likelihood of this connection being broken is higher. And the website API needs to work regardless if it has a connection with the single source of truth. Hence the need for the default value. So I'm gonna have a single field called subscriber, and it's just gonna be null. So if there's no subscriber, even though this case is never gonna happen now that I have subscribers, still though, I gotta write code that takes this situation into account. So subscriber will be null if there is no subscriber. If there's no subscriber, the line is not gonna appear. However, if there is a subscriber, it's gonna be an object with a name and duration, how long they've been subbed. Sounds good to me. So now I'm thinking, where's the bridge at? All right. I believe I will need to add an endpoint that gives me my Twitch subscribers. The latest subscriber. Just the latest. Do I have any endpoints that start with Twitch? I do. I've got 10 of them, like, maybe not 10. Twitch commands. Oh, okay, this is a good place. Twitch, latest subscriber. Latest subscriber. I just want one. This is a very specific one. And I'm gonna communicate with, I believe I have it here as well. Twitch, not the user login, the user info API prefix. is what I want. I want the user API, the user info API. So this service that I have is responsible for communicating with the Twitch API and conveniently caches requests for me. Whoa! 10 viewers! Ooh. Hello, you there. Here's your receipt. Thank you very much for bringing in your people. We're doing some API development. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm creating the Twitch latest subscriber endpoint. It's gonna make a request to another service that I have. I'm gonna have to implement that. And it's gonna return an object. It's gonna return an object with a subscriber field. And if I do not have any subscribers, which at this moment is impossible, there's always gonna be, oh shit. I just thought of something. Here's what can happen. Let's say that I stopped streaming for a month, and every single person who was subscribed to me just didn't renew the subscription because I haven't been streaming, and I deserve it. I was a bad streamer, a bad boy, and lost all the subs for that reason. So technically, this endpoint is not gonna give me the latest subscriber anymore because there would be nobody subscribed to me. They'd be gone. They'd have left me. Oh, thank you. Your name might be the first one in the website. Thank you very much for your subscription. Here's your receipt. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, the thing though, what you gotta know is that I have not implemented this. Your name is not gonna show up on my website because I'm still writing the code. And I am not planning to not stream for the next 30 days. So you might see me live. Oh yeah, then I will because I'm actually feeling cold. It's the reason why I'm streaming with a shirt on. I don't usually do that. I do shirtless driven development, but today's an exception. It's just way too freaking cold for that. So I don't do that. So I forgot what this thing used to return. So it's res, the response, and it's got a data field. That's the one that I want. How dare you, when I come with Finwars raid, do that? Next, there better be no shirt. You want me to freeze? You know, I actually could, because I would be able to work out. I could keep myself warm by just lifting some weights. And I actually did that last stream. I just couldn't handle it anymore. It was just way too cold. I was frozen. Have you ever written code with frozen fingers? You could break a finger by doing that. So unless you keep yourself warm so that you don't get in that state in the first place, you're screwed. Makes your computer work harder, warm up the room, profit. I thought about that. So much so that I got in a second computer. So there's computer number 1, ignore the dust, and computer number 2 to keep my room warm. Great minds think alike. Oh god. So, the data, right? I am not exactly sure what I'm gonna get from this request. Still have to make it. I am gonna create a dedicated endpoint that just returns the latest subscriber. It's not truly gonna be the latest subscriber, it's gonna be the person who's still subscribed. So if in 30 days, everybody were to no longer be subscribed to me, it would not be returning anybody. So I gotta make sure that I always go live. Twitch latest dash subscriber. And I like dashes in my endpoints because aesthetically, they're superior. But there's really nothing wrong with underscores too. It makes you look more like a lead hacker. And I think I'm just way too old for that anymore. It would look weird. So I just gotta act my age. Res.data. It could also... Res.data is gonna contain an object with user login, I think. Is that what I've been doing? Let me take a look at that service. This one over here. I think I was returning the data that I get straight from the Twitch API. Yes, it looks like it. You can tell from the underscores. I would never do that. When I write JavaScript code, I do not use underscores. No underscores. I see. Looks like in certain places, I do use... What is this one called? Camel case? Camel case. Oh, that's a nice depiction. I will never forget it now. So, camel case, because everybody does it. That's really the only reason why. Resources for lists is for booleans. IDs for IDs. Given that there can be and might not be a use. Oh, this is HTTP. What if I use the 404 code for this? Have I ever done something like that? User not found error. There's one. User not found error. So I could do that. I can throw an error and then I can set the error code. And I seem to be using 400 and 500 everywhere. So I'm gonna stick with that as well. I'm gonna do that. And this thing, user not found error. I'm gonna create another class just called not found error. Just not found error. And I might get rid of this class in the future, but not in the present. I don't want to have to look up where else I've checked for user not found error. So not found error. I'm going to introduce this class and I'm going to throw this error. So that is the plan. I'm going to throw an error so that I can return a 400 status code. And I'll just have to check for it right here. I have this 28 API fetch function that is going to throw an error when the return code is not 200 or 201 or 202 or 203 or 204 or 205 and so on. And to keep it similar to the other endpoints, like the one where I have my followers list, I'm just going to return user login, username, and I believe there's also a user ID. So these are the three fields. Wait, there's another field that I want. Duration. How long they've been subscribed for. The number of months. Yes. Maybe the date when they subscribed. But do I have that information? Does the Twitch API even give me that? Hold on. I'm gonna find out. Twitch API. Deb. Oh, we got here. Subscriber. Get subscriber. Better be somewhere in here. It's not highlighted. I'm having trouble looking up a list of subscribers. There is no endpoint to check who's the latest subscriber. Get broadcaster subscriptions. Guess the list of users that subscribe to the specified broadcaster. Never mind about that. They just use a different word. They don't use subscriber. They use broadcaster subscriptions. That's why I couldn't find it. So get broadcaster subscriptions. We get user ID, username, user login. Oh, and the gifter. Should I count those? It's technically not fair, but somebody did gift them. Should I list the gifter? Yes, that's what I should do. So not only will it work when somebody subscribes to me, it will also work when somebody gifts a sub. So I need to check if it was a gifter or a subscriber and thank them for it. So the data that I'm gonna return is gonna be more complex because I need to know if it was a subscriber or a gifter so I can display a different text. Did you know that X subscribe? Ooh. Oh, thank you. Here's your receipt. I still need to make the receipts for gifted subs better. I need to make them better. So in this case, I think I want a type field that tells me if it was a subscriber or a gifter. User login and username and user ID are gonna be the subscriber or the gifter. And if it's a gifter, I need an additional field. The number of subs that they gifted. I guess total, because I think that's what the API returns as well. Let me just double check. Oh, am I lost? Not lost. Oh, there's no total. Oh, crap. Are you serious? So this is what it looks like when somebody gifts a sub. It doesn't tell you the total, but the event sub API does have the total. I'm gonna change this scheme again. Instead of asking the Twitch API for the latest subscriber, I'm instead gonna get the data from my database. Let me look up these bitches again. External events. There we go. 6 months ago. Oh, that's for, don't look at this word. Gotta be some event sub. Oh, I love spamming those rewards. Oh, there was one. I saw a gift. So event sub gift. And this one's anonymous. Oh god, what if somebody wait, can you still gift subs anonymously? Remember that they removed something. Let me see. Is there something compromising in that? There's not. So this is what it looks like. This is the data that the event sub API returns. For a sub, it has the total. Yes, so yeah, I'm gonna get it from here. So for those that don't know, the Twitch API also gives you the ability to register a URL that Twitch is gonna call, and it's gonna give you all of this information close to real time. And I stored it in the database for processing later on. As you can see, these have been processed. And for gifted subs, it includes the total, and I want the total. I want to thank you for your generous amount. I'm gonna go to my databases. That means change of plans, time to remove things. I don't think I added much. Yeah, I was adding stuff here. Nope, not gonna do that. Not gonna need that. I'm still gonna implement this endpoint, but it's no longer gonna call Twitch user info API. Instead, gotta call my database. Central API. I call it central. So we're gonna have to call the central, ask for that data, and the URL. Why is it? The URL, I guess it can stay the same. The endpoint is gonna be /twitch/latest-subscriber. Yeah, that'd be obvious. Although it's not just a subscriber, it's also a gifter. So instead of that, latest supporter. In this way, it's generic enough to include subscribers and gifters, supporters. So latest supporter, it's gonna be responsible for giving me the name of the latest supporter on Twitch, which can be subscribers, gifters. What about bits? This was supposed to be a simple thing. I'm making it more and more complex. So subscribers, gifters, and bits. I might be going overboard now. But the data is there. It's just so simple to look it up, man. I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it. So we're gonna have subscribers, gifters, and bits. Gifted bits, no, sharing, sharer. It's the sharer. Scope creep is real, and this is proof. Sharer. You've probably noticed that I'm not a native English speaker, so the word sharer is a little bit difficult for me to pronounce correctly. I will get it right most of the time, but every now and then I'm gonna screw it up. Sharer, sharer, sharer. So far I'm doing well, I think. So, subscriber, gifter, and sharer. Anytime somebody supports me on Twitch, think, what about those chat thingies? Those, I forgot what they were called, and I don't think the API even supports that. I don't remember. Yeah, let's not go there. No. I don't think it even works on my channel. So let's keep it like this. Subscriber, gifter, and sharer. There's always gonna be user login, username, and user ID identifying the person, the wonderful person. We're gonna ignore anonymous bits, anonymous subs, if they're still a thing, because I can't thank them. And so when it's a subscriber, it gives me the total number of months that they've been subscribed in a row. Cumulative. When it's a gifter, it's the number of subs that were gifted. If it's a cheerer, it's gonna be, do I use total or do I use amount just to be different? I think I'm gonna go with amount. It gives me the amount of bits that were cheered. Alright, so this is the plan. This is the schema, even though I don't really have a way to define a schema, but this is the schema. This is the data that I expect to get from the central. Let me close almost everything and open the source code for the central. Alright, we're here. It's got a lot of things where I store most of my data. Don't hack me, please. I want to edit. See, I've got a couple of Twitch files. Channel points spent. Twitch events. Last ended goal. Measurement. Oh, that's for the PP size. Twitch stream. Oh, your watch time. I don't know if it still works. I think I need to create a new file. And unit test. Oh, yes. I'm gonna call this one Twitch supporters.michaeljackson. I'm gonna copy code from this one. Just change some things. I only need a get request. Get Twitch latest supporter. And I need the repository where I have all of the external events. So it's the external, if I got it right, external event repository.michaeljackson. External event repo. So over here in the Twitch supporters route, I need to use external event repository. I'm gonna call find paginate. Yeah, I'm gonna call find paginate because it has limit. I'm gonna specify a limit of 1. It's got a, well, I don't need the cursor. Direction. Yeah, that's not important either. Sorting though. Sorting is important. And I need to create an array. The name of the field is gonna be timestamp create, and it has to say ascending. I know it looks embarrassing, but I can never remember whether ascending goes up or down. Wait, do you ascend from the... No, you ascend from the bottom. Ascending, you're going up. But what does it look like in a table? Does it Does that mean that do you start? So imagine this is a table, right? Actually, don't imagine. Let me show you a table. So here's a table, but that's not what I was looking for. So here's a table. It's sorted alphabetically. A, B, C. So is this ascending? I think it is. So this is descending. So from lowest to highest, highest to lowest. No, wait. This is the lowest though. It's ascending, going from the lowest to highest. So descending is highest to lowest. I want descending. I want desk. Okay. Limit 1. And the filter. That one's missing. Type. And now I gotta look up those 3 types. And where did I put them? Oh, there they are. Subscribe. I'm gonna copy this. Resubscribe. Oh my god. Yeah. Resubscribe is separate. So subscribe, resubscribe, gift, and bits. Oh, they're all together there. Conveniently. Okay. So I got all 4 of them. Apparently it's not 3, it's 4. And now I feel like this is becoming too complex. I think I will need to create a function that does this for me, and then I'll be able to unit test the function. I could unit test this endpoint, but I feel like I'm testing a layer that feels a little bit unnecessary. I don't want to test HTTP, or I don't want to have to use HTTP if I can just put this all in a function and test the function itself, right? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a function, and the function takes... Does it take external event repository? I guess it could. I'm gonna move this to a function so I can unit test it. I need to look for a place now. I've got routes. I've got repositories. I've never created a file for the sake of just representing business logic. I need that. And I'm gonna put it in a folder called... I'm gonna call it business, maybe? The business folder. The business folder. Maybe. Business. Does that look good? I'm feeling a little icky about it. And the name is gonna be Twitch latest supporter .Michael Jackson. And it's just gonna export that function. Export function Twitch latest supporter. And it's gonna take an instance of the repository. That's about it. Oh wait, that's not about it. The current time. Remember, tests run anytime. So I need to control time. I need to be able to specify when. Oh wait, I can ignore that though. Yeah, I think I can ignore that by just by the fact that the database is gonna be empty at the beginning, so I can just rely on the fact that it's gonna look at the latest entries in it. Yeah, I don't think I will need a time. Not necessary. It'll always be the latest entries, the ones with the highest timestamp. So yeah, I will not need to pass time here. I don't mock the date constructor. I make sure that my functions receive the time. It just makes it so much easier to reason about their behavior. And I'll never forget that I'm dealing with time. That was a bitch. So, find paginate gives me results. Results, well, technically it gives me an object that contains data. And there's also a cursor, but I'm gonna ignore the cursor because I'm only gonna get a single element that I care about. Don't care about the other ones. And I then need to look at the data that I receive and transform it. I gotta use the schema. I gotta convert them to the schema that we defined here. So I'm gonna remove this and put this over there. I sort of regret not using TypeScript here. Would have been so convenient. Would it be too late to just introduce TypeScript now? But I feel like I'm doing way too many things. Remember, the idea was just to put the name of the latest subscriber on my website, but I'm now gonna put gifters and cheerers. And I'm gonna have to create a function because I have some very special cases here, like the distinction between subscriptions and resubscriptions. And then there's anonymous gift subs, but I'm purposefully ignoring them right now. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna put this here just so I don't forget about it. I'm gonna comment it. And I'm now gonna begin by writing the unit test. That's where I lay out all of my expectation. It makes it so easy to reason about my code. So Twitch latest supported test.Michael Jackson, and I'm gonna go to the other test files and just copy some code. I can get started. This'll do. I'm gonna copy the first test. That's it. You may have noticed that I don't really use a fancy assertion library. The assert module is just good enough. In fact, I only use deep equal. It just does all. 95% of cases, it just does everything that I need. The other 5% though are exceptions and certain checks, certain verifications that just don't look nice with deep equal. Gonna call the describe block Twitch latest supporter. I'm gonna give it the file name or why not the function name? Why? No, never mind. I actually do need it. I need to create an instance of Sequelize, use SQLite memory, and then create a repository right there. I need external event repository. It's conveniently imported automatically for me. I'm a happy boy. And then I gotta create the schema, and I just call sync. It does it all for me. And add stuff to it. And I'm gonna copy some of the code from this test there, so I can get started. Twitch, can it autocomplete? Would be so convenient if it did. Wait, I think it's just because it didn't import that file. There we go. So I'm gonna test bits. Formats bits. Yeah, formats bits. So I need to take the data that I get from the Twitch event sub API and turn it into my format, my reliable format, the one that I can work with. E3 times 3. I'm gonna use 1AD. And the data. Oh, the data. Let's look it up. Twitch event sub bits. Or cheers. Cheers. Wait, I think it was a second link. There. Bits. Extension bits. No. Oh, that's interesting. So, for extensions, they use the bits terminology. But for cheers, they use cheers. Channel cheer. And then there's extension bits. That must be. So channel cheer is gonna send me bits. There it is. I want bits. In fact, I'm gonna copy this. Put it right there. Is anonymous. Oh, wait a minute. Anonymous is here. Seriously? So imagine this. You wonderful person. You send me bits. And then another person decides to send me bits as well, but anonymously. And because they did it anonymously, your bits are gonna be ignored because I'm only gonna fetch the latest entry, which is the anonymous bits, and I'm not displaying anonymous bits because I don't know who to thank. They don't exist. The user login and username are gonna be null. This is only getting more and more complex. You know what? I'm gonna ignore this. Remember when I talked about internal types? So I wanted to use external types because this is the closest that we can get to the Twitch data that's in my database. I could use internal types, my own types. I call them stream events. And these are better categorized, organized, reliable. And I separate bits from anonymous bits. So I'm gonna use this. I will need gift sub, bits, gift sub, bits, and subscribe. And subscribe will work regardless if it's a subscription or a resubscription. So I will not need to deal with that mess. So these three. Okay, so we now don't need to worry about the stupid way that the Twitch API, the event sub API, returns the data. I know better. My way is better. So I will not use external event repository. Instead, I'm gonna use, let's see if this works. Stream event repository. Yes! And I need the type, stream event type. And I'm gonna copy some of the code that I had in the other test. I want this one. I'm gonna close everything else. And now I can focus on writing the test. I need a Twitch subscribe. And I need to take a look at what this thing returned. What did it return? What data is in there? So we've got some interesting fields. Months cumulative. I think it's either months duration or months cumulative. I can never tell the two apart. We'll just pick one of them and hope it's just right. Yeah. Okay. I will need user ID, username, user login, tier, months cumulative, and duration. Everything else is just optional. Here's what I'm gonna do. Watch this. You might love this or hate it. You see what I'm doing? Oh yes. Wait, I think I may have liked it too much. So this is the field that I want. Everything else is not relevant. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, that's not working the way that I wanted. Okay, second attempt. Fake. There. All the fields that I needed. And these need to be numbers though. I'm gonna give them different numbers so I can actually check that it's using the correct one. And I'm gonna go with cumulative. Cumulative. How do you pronounce this? Cumulative. 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 I'm a good boy. Cumulative. I know now. So this was format bits. Format subscription. I don't need to differentiate this ID from any other ID. I just need to add it to the repository, and then I need to call the function import Twitch. Oh, I didn't call it. I did not define the function. Oh, there it is. Twitch latest supporter. Twitch latest supporter. I'm gonna define it as a sink if I haven't already. I'm gonna pass the external event repo, this thing, and now I expect to get. It's gonna return an object. It will return null if there is nothing. So let's write that test now. Oh, let's do that. It returns null if there are no supporters. All I gotta do is just remove that line, that big line that took many lines, and then check for the value that is returned. And all I gotta do is just use assert strict deep equal and check that it's actually null. First test completed. So if there is a subscription, I expect an object that looks like this. There's gotta be a type field. It's gonna be subscriber. There's gonna be user ID. In a camel case, it's gonna be all of this. I'm even gonna copy and paste. And then there's gonna be duration, the number of months that they've been subscribed to me. And I'm gonna use cumulative. It's 1. It's the value 1. So that's what I expect to happen here. For bits, formats bits, I need to add Twitch bits, not anonymous bits. Twitch bits, what does it take for bits? User ID, username, user login, amount. So it's the amount. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Amount. Should I put the message there as well? Maybe not a good idea. Because you're gonna complain if I don't put the emotes. That's too much scope. Look at where we've gone so far. This is enough. This is enough scope creep. You don't want more. Amount, I'm gonna use 100 just for testing purposes. So this is gonna be type gifter, amount 100. And then I'm gonna have, what was the other one? Oh wait, this is not gifter, this is cheerer. That's why I was confused. Formats, gifter. So this is actually for gifting subs. Twitch, gift, sub. Twitch, gift, sub. User ID, username, user login, tier, total, cumulative. Total cumulative. Oh, what if I use that instead? So I've got total, right? How many subs you've gifted. But then there's how many subs you've gifted in total. I think that's a lot more interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. The total amount of subs they've gifted. All-time subs. Yeah, that's convenient. So that's what cumulative means. Formats gifter. There will be total cumulative. There will be a total. And there will be a tier. I'm gonna ignore the tier. So tier. Put them there. And I expect this. So type gifter, user ID, username, user login, tier. Oh, wait, I said I didn't want this. What the heck is wrong with me? And total. Super simple. So these are the 3 types that I expect. Now I'm gonna test another situation. I need to make sure that it only gives me the latest subscriber, the latest gifter, the latest cheerer. I'm gonna write, I think maybe 2 tests or so. Let's see, only. So this test is gonna check. I'm gonna create 2 subscriptions with different timestamps, and I expect the latest one to appear. The results. Users most recent subscription. That's all the test is doing. I'm gonna have more tests testing the other situations. I want to make sure that I'm only looking at the most recent subscription. So I'm gonna have subscription that happened sometime in January 1970, 1 second after midnight. This one was 2 seconds after midnight, so I expect this one. So I'm gonna actually give this a name. Let me look at the chat. I'm gonna use Connor Wright Kappa. You're now my source code. I'm not even gonna bother with the ID. A tier. Okay, so I expect this one to show up, not the other one. So place this there. Duration. Yeah, it will not really make much of a difference. These can stay the same. Okay, so that's the first test related to time. The other test, I want to make sure that the filter is actually working. So I'm gonna have a subscription, and then later I'm gonna have a follow. Somebody just decides to follow me, which is great. But you might be causing a bug, so I gotta check for that. Gonna use this, just user ID, username, user login. Okay, so a subscription and then a follow, but it still has to detect this subscription. It can't just look at this thing and think to itself that there's no subscribers, so therefore there's no latest supporter, which is wrong. So I'm gonna place this here and test finished. I don't think there's a bug here. It's a good test. I guess I could remove these IDs. They're not necessary. I'm using them for anything. So well, that was not a good idea. Yes, that's a bad idea. Okay, the next test is although technically it's already been tested here. What happens if I have a subscription and then somebody gives a sub or sends me bits? I need to give priority to the person who sent me bits because they did it afterwards. They are the latest supporter. That's the goal. So I am gonna write the code anyway, but it feels sort of redundant technically. But I will feel better just by doing it. That's what matters. So users most recent subscription. Users most recent ignores old supporters. This feels so mean to write. I don't want you to feel neglected, but I don't know a better way to describe this. I'm gonna leave it like that. Twitch subscribe, and then I'm gonna get a gift sub. You'll do sub timestamp 2. So I expect this to be a gifted sub. So I'm gonna go back up there and snatch this so I don't have to type it again. Alright, okay, so these are the tests. Let's run them. They're gonna fail because I haven't written a single line of code, but I wanna make sure that I actually wrote there's no compilation error. Oh, this is not the test that I should have been running. Oh, I've never tested this file before. Copy path. Now, unexpected reserved word. Oh, don't you love it when there's no stack trace, no sensible stack trace, no relevant stack trace, no file numbers. I don't know where the error is. Unexpected word feels like an await keyword might have been used where there was no async. I guessed right. So now there's another error. Unexpected token. Yeah, I see where they are. I screwed up there. I realize that. Let me fix this. Unexpected token because it doesn't know about these thingies. Let's let it know about it. Let's make it aware of the thingies. So these are the thingies. Twitch subscribe, and then Twitch gift sub, and then the last one. Oh, the last one. This one. I didn't copy it properly. And this is supposed to be an array. I don't need that. Properly formatted. This is the call. Find paginate. And now I'm just gonna do a console log on the data. We're gonna do some console log driven development. I'm gonna return null so that at least one test is gonna succeed. And I don't think I need this anymore. I have a test letting me know that the types are correct. Hey, they failed. They ran. All of them failed though. I was expecting one of them to succeed though. Stream event type is not defined. I'll define it. Wait, can I do this? Yes, I can. Okay, it's there. It's not defined. Where's 6 tests failed, not 7. Returns null if there are no supporters. We have 1 test passing, 1 test passes. So 1 functionality has been implemented successfully. Format subscription is not well implemented. So what I have here is data, and data is an array of objects, and it's always going to be a single object. Is there a way to destructure this? I think there is. Oh, but it might fail. Data is null. No, wait, it's undefined, right? You wouldn't know. I know. It's, I think it's undefined when there's no data. I omit the field. So I need to test that as well. Wait, I just did. Hold on a second. Something ain't right. How the heck did it? Oh, there it is. Undefined. So yeah, it is undefined. That means that this data belongs to this test. The console log happens before the test output. You gotta remember that. So this undefined belongs to this test. This object belongs to this test. And we have user ID, username, user login, tier, cumulative, and the type. So I need to check if data is undefined. If so, if it is undefined, return null. This is the, what do we call this? The silver path? The unhappy path? I legitimately forgot. I forgot. No data. Okay, so in practice, this is never gonna happen. And I truly mean that. Remember when I said, like an hour or 2 ago, when we had different plans, that if I went to use a Twitch API to get the latest subscriber, If I happen to stop streaming for 30 days and people did not renew the subscription, the Twitch API would give me an empty list. There would be no subscribers. Therefore, there's a chance that I would not be able to list the true latest subscriber, even though they're no longer subscribed. But they used to be the latest subscriber. In fact, they still are the latest subscriber. They technically were the latest subscriber. They were the last one. Now though, given that I'm using my database as a source, it's not gonna be a problem. So I can stop streaming for 30 days and it's still gonna list your name. Speaking of support, my stomach requires nutrients. I need to go check the microwave. I'm gonna feed the homeless. I wish I had a third hand so I could write code while I'm eating. That was good. So I'm gonna put this in the kitchen. Maybe feed the homeless. Now I'm gonna bake cookies. There I go. Just 3 if statements should be enough to implement this feature. Let's start. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong. Wait, I was looking at the wrong. Let's look at subscription. So subscription needs to look like this. 5 fields. So if data type equal stream type subscribe, then I'm gonna return an object with type subscription and another 4 fields. In fact, I'm gonna copy. It'll be easier. User ID. Now this is gonna look awkward. Data 0 data. User ID. I personally don't feel proud of that line, but I don't really feel like it's fine. The scope is small. You can understand exactly what's going on, right? This is a list. I'm going through the list. I mean, I'm going to the first element of the list because of a limit. There's only ever one element. So user ID, username, and user login. Duration. Yeah, I think it was months cumulative. The unit tests are gonna tell me so. So bits, user ID, username, user login, and amount. And the last one is gifter, user ID, username, user login, and now total is gonna be total cumulative. And then there's this situation that technically will not happen, but it's there just so that there's code for this case. You know what I could do? Throw an error. This should not happen. This is better than a comment. Better than a comment, because this can only happen if there's a mistake. If, for instance, there's an extra type that it's not being dealt with. That is really the only case. Time to run the unit. Oh, 4 of them failed. Only 4. And let me see. Format subscription is missing duration. It's showing up as undefined, and the type is wrong. So instead of the test is expecting subscriber. No. It's supposed to be subscription. Subscriber, gifter. Oh, wait. You know what? I actually prefer subscriber. Subscriber, share. Oh, no, it's supposed to be sharer if you go that route, I guess. Okay, so only 3 tests are failing now. Undefined for duration. Months cumulative. Oh, I misspelled it so badly. Months cumulative. So subscriber, sharer, gifter. And I've spelled cumulative or cumulative. I can never pronounce it right though. And all the tests pass! Whoa! No surprise there. So, boy, how long have I been working on this? The intention was just to display the name of a subscriber on my website. And I've gone through all of this. Whatever. To the route. Twitch supporter, if I'm not mistaken, Twitch supporters. I'm gonna import that function, Twitch latest supporter. I'm gonna call it here, supporter, Twitch latest supporter, and it needs to receive the external event repo, and I need to use await, and now I just need to return it there. Easy, very easy. So supporter is gonna be null if there is none. I'm not gonna bother with 404 or 5000. I'm at the point where I just stopped giving a crap about restfulness, resources, and nobody ever does it right. Very rarely do you come across an API that is well designed, that is elegant. I've just decided to do, fuck it, do something. Who gives a shit at this point? And feels so freeing. I've got the endpoint. Now, I need the website. Let me show you this graph again. Oh, I closed it. No, I did not. Haha. Okay, so let's recap. I have a website frontend. It's written in React because it's pretty neat. And the website has an API. It's backend. That's where the website asks for data. And this API makes requests to the single source of truth. And these requests are expensive, so I want to cache them. The single source of truth was originally gonna get the data from the Twitch API, but I've since realized that it's a bitch to mess with that data, so instead, I use the translation layer. I use my own data that is derivative from the Twitch data. It's a lot easier to, so all of that is being done right here. We're at this stage. We are right here. Now, the website API needs to ask for this data, and it needs to cache it. It would have been really important to do this when dealing with the Twitch API, because the Twitch API is somewhere in some Amazon server. All of this stuff, though, is a little bit closer together, though, and it's a lot faster than talking to the Twitch API. So, should I still cache it or not? Maybe I should just keep it, but leave it at 3 seconds or 1 second. Yep. I guess that'll do. So, I got the endpoint, and I was at the point of calling this endpoint. Given that I have unit tests, I can assume that it's working. I don't see how this wouldn't work. So let's go take a look at, what was it called? Bridge? Website bridge? This thing. Yeah, I was in the middle of doing this. Twitch latest supporter. Twitch latest supporter. It gets the supporter. In fact, oh yeah, as you can see, it used to be subscriber, but no, it's now supporter. And I'm just gonna return the same data. Not gonna touch it. If it's null, it will be null as well. No 404 handling. I do have a 404 object. I could use this. I could use that. So not only have I given up on REST, elegant endpoint name, I've also given up on HTTP status codes. We have an arbitrary number of status codes that have a definition. They're defined, but they don't really apply to our applications correctly. There are so many situations that don't even fit in with those error codes, and you have a limited set of error codes. You only have 99 error codes for client-side errors. Some of them have meaning, some of them are reserved. You can't really use them. So every single framework just said, fuck it. GraphQL said, fuck it. If you see a data attribute, that means that the request succeeded. If you see an error attribute, that means the request failed. Doesn't matter what the HTTP status code is. I looked at it. I found it odd, but then I realized that it is the way to go. Fuck it. Fuck it. Just fuck it. And ever since saying fuck it and fucking it, my life has been. I love it. I love it. This endpoint is now returning the data for the API. Remember, we are in this realm right here. Now, we're gonna go into the website API and make this expensive request. It's in the... Did I create it already? No, it's in the cache. So get latest Twitch subscriber. No more. Get latest Twitch supporter. And it's gonna make a request to Twitch latest supporter. And it's gonna return an object. And I guess I'll do this as well. What about the other one? Yeah, they have. Okay, so now it's very explicit what this function is gonna return. So get latest Twitch supporter is gonna be called... What do I call these things? Do I have a cache object? I don't. I must be importing them up there. Oh, how do I... Where are they being used? Oh wait, this is the website bridge. Wrong place. There should be a cached. Yeah, there it is. Cached. Okay, so now I need to create the endpoint, and I'm gonna put it next to the Twitch endpoint. Twitch login, Twitch connect. Where's the commands? Was next to the commands before. Oh, there it is. Now I need to come up with a funny extension. Every single endpoint in this API has the wrong extension, just to prove my point that I don't care about REST anymore. So Twitch supporter dot what's a great extension for a great viewer like a Twitch? Maybe .win. Is win an extension? Is win an extension? What is a win file? How do I open it? I don't like any one of these websites. They seem shady. I do not consent. Box Pro window definitions. What's a cool extension? Most common file extension. I think I've used all of them by now. There's a doc, there's a GIF, there's a JPEG, there's an AI, pedophile, HTML, PPT, PPTX, PSD, SVG. Have I used SVG before? I have not. Well, you're an SVG because it's an awesome file format. Twitch supporter SVG. And then it calls get latest Twitch supporter. Oh, it should be latest supporter, I guess. Or just supporter, the Twitch support. Latest or just supporter? Latest? Yeah, I think latest is clearer. Latest supporter, SVG. Okay. Anything else I might be missing? I don't think so. Okay. Let me open up the white notepad. So we're right here. The last thing that needs to be done is to have the front end call the API and ask for that data and display it. Let's do that. Website www index, and this needs to happen in the Twitch chat component. And by the way, I was gonna add more things to this thing, but didn't get to. I just cannot come up with that many. So there it is. Here's the thingy. So I'm gonna add it to the items. But how? Do I recreate the array, I guess? I'm gonna copy this. Wait, what the heck is this? Add emotes? Why did I comment? Oh, because I don't have them working. I'm not even using TTV here. Or 7TV. Added TTV. Yeah, those things. I don't use them anymore. Items. Or did you know? Did you know? That's what it's gonna be called. So I'm gonna put all of these items. I'm gonna call them base. Did you know? This is the base array. Hope it works inside. I hope this doesn't cause any issue. It probably won't. Gotta be fine. So down here, do I use memo? Yeah, I think memo. Use memo. Did you know? Use memo. And memo is gonna have a single dependency, which is the supporter. The supporter is gonna come from something here. Use resource. Yes. So I'm gonna define it up here. In fact, I'm gonna copy it from somewhere else. I've done this before. Done this somewhere. Might be in a page. I'm gonna take a look at a page. Nope. Emotes definitely has one. Oh, there it is. Get emotes. API fetch. That's the one. I'm gonna place it right here. Get supporter. I'll make a request to Twitch/latest supporter.svg. Supporter. So it's gonna be null or an object. Use resource, and use resource returns an object with data, set data, loading, error, refresh data. I just want the data. I'm not even gonna worry with the loading. So data, I'll give it the name supporter. If supporter exists, then I need to add a line. I need to build a line. But first off, let's build a copy of that array. So line is a copy. That's how you make a copy. A shallow copy, by the way. Then return the line. So if there is a supporter, I will need a switch statement that checks what kind of supporter is this. Is this a subscriber? And if so, lines unshift. I'm adding to the very top, the beginning. And yeah, just a string will be enough. Although, you should put your name in bold. But I'll do that in a little bit. Actually, it won't take that long. Yeah, it won't take much effort. Okay, your name is gonna be in bold. Did you know supporter, let's use a B. Supporter username has subscribed to me for supporter duration, right? For this month's. Oh, what if it's 1 month? It's gonna say 1 month. I don't really want to deal with plurals right now. But I should, but not now. Okay, break. Did you know? So this is for the cheerer. Has cheered this many bits. Oh, again with the plural. But nobody's gonna send just a single bit. In fact, I'd have it disabled. So we're good. The last one, gifter. Did you know username has gifted, oh, it's supposed to be amount, has gifted this many subs, has gifted in total. This is it. So it should show up now. Maybe I need to refresh the page. That didn't do anything. An error message maybe? Ooh, that's the big boy. Let's see if that specific request failed. Origin, me raw, and selfie.jpg. That's none of them. My code isn't running. It's almost like as if the service is down. Let me see. Oh, yes. It was down the whole time. It wasn't running. Still though, it didn't make a request. It made those other requests, but not this one. It made a request to selfie.jpg. Oh, API fetch is not defined there. Hold on. This thing is not defined. Now it is. Now you should work. Request failed. 404. I didn't type the URL. I did not. I misspelled it. I typed let's supporter. Okay, let's fix that. It's easy. Last. And still nothing. Last supporter.svg. Still gives me a 404. Oh, it's latest supporter. That was a... Okay. It should work now. Still nothing. Latest supporter. What the... Did I really just type last supporter? Now it's just embarrassing. Latest supporter.svg. It made the request. It didn't put anything in there though. Which, let me place a debugger. Okay. It's in there. Supporter. Null at the beginning. No supporter? It's null? I guess the first request returns null. But this is the second request, and it's still no. Alright, we need to go up the chain. We need to figure out exactly where it's returning null. Let me make a request to the central API. A direct request. I use curl. When was the last time that I used curl? Alright, route not found. Or did I get the port wrong? It says not found. Latest supporter. But it's right there. Oh, I have never imported the route. Yeah, I've just created the file, but I've never really used it. Gotta do it here. I set myself when I had 3 routes, when I only had 3 routes, that I was gonna do this automatically. Right. That's not a big deal though. Just another line. Chatting. Okay, so I got a cheerer, but it only shows type cheerer. There's nothing else. There's a bug in my unit tested code? How though? That's weird. Could have, oh wait, was it test? Was it test code? Cause this is the development environment. This is a local machine that I use to launch nukes on it. So it most likely has bad data, I'm hoping. Yeah, it most likely has really bad data. Well, we got something. But even though we got something there, the API is getting nothing. And that is because it's still called latest subscriber. It's supposed to be latest supporter. My fault. There. So it now gets the data, but the test data doesn't have a name for the person who shared those bits. So let me take a look what's in this bitch. So there. So this is the last one. In fact, yeah, it's this one. It's an anonymous bits, but I ignored it. I'm looking only at bits. It was supposed to be name, login, and 1. Mount 1000. So it's missing those 4 fields. They're not there. We're gonna do some console log development. I'm gonna go to the central, which supporters, and I'm just gonna take a look at what data is. And that's the data. That is not the data that I was expecting to see. That is a stream update. That is me changing the name of the stream. Have you spotted the problem? Because I did. So I never really changed the name of this parameter. It's no longer the external event repo. It's the stream event repo. I gotta fix the test as well. It's just a name change. And the mistake is right here. I'm still using external event repo. Now, it worked. Name has cheered 1000 bits as expected. So only the glue code had a little bug and we fixed it. It's working. So it shows the latest cheer. What if I were to subscribe? Oh god, there's a lot of fields. Okay, Twitch subscribe, test, name, login, tier, message, months, cumulative, and save. So it's there now. I'm not even looking at processed events. I'll ignore that for now. It's gonna look at them regardless if they're processed or not. So now, it should show after the next refresh, remember, because I'm caching for 3 seconds, that it's a subscriber. Test name has subscribed to me for 12 months. Very pog. Let's deploy this. Okay, it's being deployed now, and it should be done right now. Now, it should, after the next one because of the cache, it should show Ashion has gifted 1 subs in total? Question mark? It's working. There it is. All of this for that. I should have put a timestamp though. At least for the subscription and the bits. So that the latest supporter shows up on my website. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me in this journey. I have no more plans for the stream. I've been live for over 4 hours. I wasn't planning to be live for that long. But hey, it happened. Oh nice. Something unique on my website. Thanking those that support Mr. Streamer.